Hello and welcome to the White Trash Voltaire podcast. I'm your host, Duncan Jones, and I've got to tell you about my new movie about Elder Scrolls Online. It's going to be awesome, and there's going to be lots of and rah in it, because I'm doing MMO movies only now. Did you see my World of Warcraft movie? It was great. How about Guild Wars? I'm doing that one too. Okay, it's just Caleb. What? They play Guild Wars 2. Apparently.
Whatever.
Because Guild Wars 1 didn't survive. But Guild Wars, they got it right the second time. Maybe? I don't know. I'm sure that Nash probably plays Guild Wars 2. Probably. Still. Hey, so guys.
Hey.
Hey.
So, how's your...
awkward silence ever.
How's your life? What?
I'm glad that everyone participated.
I signed on for that, so...
Hey, we've got with us our co-host and stuff, Matthew Vehemity, who's, phoning in, because, what else is new? And then we've also got special guest Steven, who makes everything better. And then we've also got Stephanie providing background commentary and occasional booze and whatnot. No, booze.
Booze.
You're providing the booze for this.
I did both. I've got the booze and I booed, so I'm both.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Sam is here.
Hey.
Also, what are you guys drinking?
I brought from my own personal private stash the last of my Big Iron Barley Wine from Sun King Brewery here in Indianapolis. And I'm just getting ready to pop this open here.
Careful, guys. Cover your eyes. We know last time.
This cork is actually attached. So,
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. I've been aging this since about the end of April, so...
Oh, that's
not fair. Well, why am I not there right now?
I don't know,
Matt.
dude. Why are you not here right now?
Maybe you should get a job. And then get a car. And then get a girl and a gun.
I have a job interview Sunday, so I don't want to hear it.
Where's the job interview at, Matt?
Lover's Lane.
Dude.
Wait, is that an actual place? I thought that was just a saying.
No, that's an actual
phrase.
place.
It is an actual place. I'm going to be selling dildos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like a...
Exclusively dildos?
No.
Well, no. There's accessories, there's outfits, there's handcuffs, there's lubrication,
Benoit balls.
Benoit balls.
Oh,
All sorts of oils and lubricants.
Beignets?
No, not beignets.
I saw a stand selling beignets.
Steven knows so much about this.
Well, I'm married. My wife and I were actually there Sunday.
I don't want to know this.
I'm so proud of you.
How come we never went there, Stephanie?
Because you're too embarrassed. You're a 12-year-old boy who gets scared and asks for his mommy.
That's awkward, bro.
I'm a prude.
When you that's okay. So you go into the Lover's Lane store and you go, excuse me, miss. I need my mommy.
That's probably the worst place to be to ask for your mother.
He doesn't ask.
That is the scariest thing I've heard in quite a while.
Somebody else. He just texts her and says, "Mom, I'm at the sex shop. Can you come get me?"
Wait, how many times has this happened?
3 or 4.
Wow.
We've been married for a year.
I feel like I need to go take a shower now.
Let's just pause this so we can all go to our respective places of...
Hey, let's pause it so we can all go to the same shower. Come on, Matt.
That's really...
Oh man, it's gonna take so long for me to get there. Are we still gonna be in the same state of mind all together?
We'll get back to this on Friday.
This is gonna take some commitment, guys.
Oh man. Okay, well anyway, so now that that's out of the way, hey, I'm drinking some Colombian coffee because I don't have any alcohol in the house right now.
What?
I forgot to go to the alcohol store and buy alcohols.
I feel bad for you, bro.
Oh man, coffee's an option. I'm gonna have coffee.
Hold on. If you run out of alcohol, you know what that means? It means that you previously enjoyed drinking all the alcohol. So
right, but if you run out, that means that you don't have more to enjoy later.
That's true, but that's like...
The trick is to keep enough in circulation that you always have some.
If you really, you know what's...
I probably do have some alcohol.
Coffee. And I personally find it the first best, so...
Guys, I found an LFD cigar over here. I didn't know I had.
Are you going to smoke it?
Probably not. I don't like cigars inside the house.
You say as your wife just lit up a cigar.
In the house.
In the house.
Stephanie, we don't like to smoke cigars in the house, remember? Pipe and hookah is okay, but cigarettes and cigars are just...
Cigars are fine in the man cave as long as the door is shut.
And then you suffocate my lizards.
That's fine. They're fine.
Wait, so pipes don't suffocate the lizards, but cigars do?
No.
Yeah, he's stupid.
Lizards,
don't listen to him.
lizards like pipe tobacco smoke.
I don't know about
middle of
that.
something here.
Hey, we should probably get on with this podcast, guys.
Mainly because I have Sam on one side of me and Stephanie on the other.
What are we drinking? Oh, we already went over that.
I'm drinking a Fistful of Hops Orange from Sun King Brewery.
Good brewery.
It's fantastic.
That's up there in Indianapolis, isn't it?
It is, yeah. They
And
just
also
opened...
Fisher's.
Yeah, they opened a new tasting room in Fishers, so...
Ooh,
2
tasting
locations.
room.
That's pretty fancy.
I've never been to a tasting room.
So what do you think of that barley wine there, Sam?
I'm 50-50 on all barley wines now. Because I had a barley wine once, I thought, this is good. Then I had another one, I thought, this is awful. Then I had a second one, I thought, this is awful. And now this one, I'm like, this is good.
Can I try it?
Yes, you can.
That was a fun story.
I've actually been aging this in the back of my fridge since late April. So it's gotten a little deeper, a little richer, a little smoother, a little boozier too. But it's still a really good barley wine. It's pretty strong though. One snifter will pretty much put me under. So
Yeah, this is hitting the spot. I've been trying to find something good, but I keep getting all these like fluffy beers that Stephanie keeps buying.
Did you
Hey,
just
you know,
man up and do
Fluffy-
your own beer shopping?
Well,
Fluffy
I
is
got
cheaper,
Guinness.
typically. So
I did buy some Guinness, but the Guinness
Guinness.
tasted weird. It was flat.
Did it taste like Guinness? Because Guinness...
No, Guinness is Guinness is
not
super smooth because it's on
that
nitro.
great.
If you get it in a bottle, the draft bottle is on nitro. This was specifically flat.
yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
The best place to get a Guinness in Indianapolis is down at the Nine Irish Brothers pub, where they actually do have it on nitro on tap.
That sounds exactly like the exact place that I did, in fact, go and get a Guinness once.
So then you've had the best Guinness in Indianapolis.
Wasn't that impressed?
Well,
I was personally
there's-
not that impressed either.
there's no helping either of you.
Well, I mean, it's not so much I'm impressed. It's like, it's good beer. I mean, Guinness is good.
Guinness is good.
It's a good,
I don't care for it.
Yeah, Guinness is all right.
I don't care for it one bit. I think that its creamy head is the most amazing head I've ever experienced on a beer ever.
Hello.
But
finishing
But
up.
I would prefer that to be transplanted somewhere else to another beer.
That's
that
funny
tasted better.
because when you're drinking Guinness, you're supposed to drink under the head.
Yeah. Guinness was my gateway beer, so Guinness has always got a special spot in my heart because Guinness was the beer that made me realize I liked beer.
Well, and you know that's the same for my brother. That was kind of Guinness was like his gateway beer to where. Well, I mean, I guess not really. He drank like Bud Light and stuff like that.
See, I refuse. I think we talked about this last time a little bit.
But yeah, but Guinness was like his transition, his gateway to drinking, you know, finer beers, I guess. And he loves it, and then he wanted me to love it, and I was like, I don't love it. I don't love it. Just don't. It's I don't know what it is about it.
Like for me, not a love.
I like
That's-
stouts. I like stouts. I just don't like Guinness.
What is your favorite stout then, Caleb, if I may ask? If I may be so bold as to ask you your favorite stout.
Well, that is a what kind of stout are we talking here? Are we talking oatmeal stouts? Are we talking
Oatmeal, chocolate, I mean,
chocolate
Coffee.
stouts?
Stout,
we
yeah.
talking
Any and all
imperial
stouts.
stouts?
of all the stouts you've ever had, which is
man.
the one that you like the best?
You know what? I think that if I had to say which one I like the best, it would probably be Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout, Organic Edition.
That's not bad.
It is a pretty good stout.
I've never had Samuel Smith's beer. I always see it. I think this is cheap. I can afford this, and then I don't get it.
I recommend getting the organic oatmeal stout. It is good. It's really good. Another one I really liked was Yin by Evil Twin Brewing Company. It is yin as opposed to yang, which is their black IPA, which I've heard good things about, but I don't even know, how does a black IPA even work?
I think it's a barley thing. It's the kind of barley they use is what generally, or the wheat rather. Wheat and malt tend to render color, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well,
but I've had a black IPA or two, and they're usually pretty good.
I was thinking about, I was trying to be thoughtful the other day when I was in the liquor store, and I was thinking, well, I'm going to be making a trip to Indiana here soon, and I was thinking maybe I would pick up some yin for myself to drink, and then pick up some yang for Sam to drink, and me and Sam can share some yin and yang.
That's precious.
What about me?
Well, yeah, I mean, there will be.
I can't be a part of that.
There will be 4 bottles per
Matt,
each.
let's share some yin and yang.
I thought it would be romantic. Oh, by the way, they also have a beer that's called Yin and Yang. It's somehow. It's
the best
both.
of both worlds.
I don't know. I really don't know. But
Matt and I are gonna share.
Yin is an imperial stout, and it's pretty great. It's one of those beers that has that perfect amount of booziness that just like a regular drink, drinking at a reasonable pace, you get just that perfect level of just smashed.
Well, now that we know what Caleb does every night, what's our topics tonight, guys? What are we talking about?
I don't know. Some movies came out a long time ago. We should talk about those.
We're a little behind.
I saw some movies recently, but nothing of any current popularity.
Oh, what did you see, Matt? I'm curious.
I watched a movie that was very much attempting to be a cult classic called Suck, which came out in 2009, starring Alice Cooper, Moby, Henry Rollins, who else? Iggy Pop,
Alex Lifeson.
What,
Malcolm
really?
McDowell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Lifeson was in there?
Yeah.
Why not Geddy Lee? Like, if you get Alex Lifeson, why would you
Because Geddy Lee has standards. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Like seriously,
Well,
who's Alex Lifeson?
have you-
Who is Alex Lifeson?
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
Hold on, though. Have you heard Geddy Lee's solo album? He doesn't have standards. Not the ones you think, at least.
Well,
What
at
does that
least in
even
terms
sound
of
like?
his cinematic work, he's got standards.
Geddy Lee's solo album sounds like basically like rubbish Current Rush. Like,
oh, okay.
If Current Rush made some really not interesting music, then that would be that would. Oh
So
well,
basically,
okay, the music is decent, but the lyrics are the least thought provoking of all Rush.
well, that makes
progeny.
sense because Geddy Lee is a great musician, but let's face it, Neil Peart writes all the lyrics.
Here's the thing, though: the drum work is not very good either.
Well, yeah, because it's a solo project, and therefore he probably got someone other than Neil Peart because
Yes, he did because Neil Peart was
Rush.
Because Neil Peart was unknown, or his location was unknown during that time as he was motorcycling around the continental North and South America.
So now that we know that Matt watched a movie called Suck, I think there's a movie that all of us folk have seen called Jurassic Park 3?
4.
4?
Jurassic Park 3 is a completely
Wow, where
different
have you
animal.
been?
You're thinking of Jurassic World, which
Jurassic-
came out recently.
Jurassic World's the one that we all saw.
Sam, aren't you the Jurassic nut?
Best movie I've seen all year.
That's sad.
is pretty sad.
I have not seen it
How is
yet,
that
but
sad?
I don't think you're going to be ruining anything for me.
Well, it doesn't
Do
matter.
you
We're gonna
plan
talk.
on seeing it?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, plot twist. It's part raptor.
You what?
Hey.
That actually is a plot twist, but it's one that you see coming a mile away.
Hey, spoilers, because it looks like a raptor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So let me get this straight. And let me see if I got this, and let me see if I caught like the crazy part of the movie. There's dinosaurs, and people have to deal with them.
Yeah, it's basically every Jurassic Park movie, only this time they up the ante a little bit by mixing Tyrannosaurus DNA with Raptor DNA.
And chameleons.
Oh, you know what's amazing about that movie, though?
Frogs.
Just
Okay, frogs.
No, because remember, it had all the different animal attributes. Cause it could go invisible, had thermal vision.
yeah, but they mix every dinosaur with frogs. That's like what they do.
Yeah, but this was a specific genre of frog.
Yeah, but
Well,
once
but
you've,
it's always
once you've
a
mixed
specific
with one
Genre?
frog,
Like a metal frog or like a blues frog?
I think
no, it's frog core.
It was a Jose frog.
It was, I think, frog core.
Hey, that's a thing.
It was a frog.
Frog core is a thing.
No, Jose frog.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's everything core,
Crab core is a thing.
and everything core is always suck. So
True. I'm waiting for the Jurassic
you can
movie.
quote me on that one. Everything core is always suck.
I totally agree with that. I'm waiting for the
it's
Jurassic
like
movie where
Is that a thing?
It's called core.
Oh, okay. All right, they just simplified it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm waiting for the Jurassic movie that actually has the dinosaurs with like feathers and stuff. Why hasn't that happened yet?
Because,
With what?
as they explain in Jurassic World,
Feathers.
Yeah, it's
right.
called Jurassic Park 3. The raptors had little...
Really?
Yeah, little spikes they had were basically feathers.
Spikes
Okay.
are not feathers.
They try to make them more dinosaur-like.
They do. There is a line in Jurassic
Do you know the
World.
difference?
They try to make them more chicken-like.
as they explain in Jurassic World, we engineered the dinosaurs to look the way that you want them to look, not the way
Right.
they actually looked.
That's what I was
Yeah,
going to say.
and
There's
I-
that line where they do explain that.
And they can't backpedal from that and actually make them have feathers.
Exactly. You've got
Nobody
I
wants to
actually
see
like.
that establish continuity.
Which is
Nobody
funny.
wants to go see birds.
Well, no.
Can
What's
I
the fun
actually?
of going to?
Birds.
It's bird park. Go see some birds.
Well, no, what's funny, though, is that the raptors in the very first movie were going to be more lizard-like, but they had a scientist come in to do consulting, and he said, no, they need be more bird-like. So the raptors we have today are supposed to be more like birds anyways.
Right.
I
Well,
just don't
but,
think really at the time they realized they had feathers.
and that's what I was going to say. Yeah, they didn't realize when in '93 when they're making the first Jurassic Park movie that the fossil records weren't quite as extensive or what have you as they are now 12 years later.
Now, before we continue on, I just want to make the statement that Jurassic World is definitely the second best Jurassic Park movie.
What's
I'll
first
agree with
best?
Well, the first one.
The first one.
best, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's just like all way a well-rounded, great movie.
I would actually like to say something that's going to infuriate Sam, but it's okay because Sam is deluded by childhood nostalgia. I watched Jurassic Park recently after having watched Jurassic World. Jurassic World is a better movie all around.
Well, I can actually argue. What's the word I'm looking for? Objectively argue that
How so?
because the writing.
That was
in
very
Jurassic
mature
World
of
is
Sam to
awful.
say objectively.
What did you say?
The writing in Jurassic
That was-
World. I think he's talking to me, Matt.
He wasn't.
Thank
He
you.
was doing
I've been
that.
getting cut off left and right. That is very mature of Sam to say objectively instead of saying flat out, "Well, you're wrong, and here's why."
No, saying objectively is almost worse because that implies that Sam has like the objective position on the topic, which is
He
like
does.
I do actually in this point because I will point out to you why Jurassic World was inferior to Jurassic Park.
Please, Sam. I'm waiting. Actually, I'm
The
really
writing.
excited.
On the
They
edge
had
of my seat.
they had 4 or 5 writers.
yes.
That's the big flaw. 4 or 5 writers. The writing, the scenes in this movie were so inconsistent with tone. It was awful, and it was so over the top. And like some of the statements they said, like I think they're purposely being cheesy, but
I think it was really obvious.
You know what? I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him that. Yeah, the last 15 minutes are pure Velveeta. But I mean, leading up to that, it's really nice. But you see, Chris Pratt leading a gang of velociraptors while he's riding a motorcycle, and
like it's
and
super
it
over
was
the
so
top. Like,
badass.
Let's be honest.
Well,
It was
no.
the Chris Pratt show.
no, it was. And then
And that
Gwen
is a
Stacy
fine
ran
show to
high
watch.
heels from a T. And then here's
Yeah,
the
it's
thing:
damn good.
the Deus Ex Machina with the T-Rex at the end, when they had literally paid no attention to the T-Rex the entire movie,
Yeah.
and he just comes out of nowhere. That is literally you're pulling a dinosaur out of your rear end Not literally, because that would be weird.
They had him in the T-Rex
but before that, there's no lead up, there's no build up, there's no even mention.
No.
Of the T-Rex
you're
before that.
seeing it all wrong. You're looking at it all wrong. The T-Rex being saved for last is like it's like the last track in a set list for a concert. It's like
But it's
because everybody is
bad
thinking of
storytelling,
the T-Rex.
Caleb.
I was thinking of it the whole time. I was thinking, where's the T-Rex? There's got to be a T-Rex around here somewhere. I was actually thinking that while watching the movie. And whenever the T-Rex was revealed, I was like, yes, yeah, it's the T-Rex.
Didn't even finish the job.
That doesn't matter though.
If they were going to bring the T-Rex out like the big finale, they should have let the T-Rex be the big finale.
But the T-Rex,
the big finale was that other freaking dinosaur.
The Mosasaurus.
Yeah, but the T-Rex couldn't possibly. The T-Rex couldn't possibly be the one that kills the Endodontous Rex. Because,
no, but it should have been.
Because
to build it up to that degree and to play that off, to not have that happen.
The T-Rex and the Raptors should have finished it off 100%.
Okay, that's fair. I think it would be fair for the Raptors and the T-Rex to have teamed up and successfully, as a team, killed the Endodontous Rex.
That should have been the end of it.
But
Raptors couldn't do it alone. The T-Rex couldn't do it alone. But together, they could work together.
With the brute force of the T-Rex and the cunning of the Raptors, they could defeat the Endodontous Rex.
Which I want to point out. One thing I really liked about Jurassic World, this movie was freaking terrifying. I'm like, what, 25 now? And I'm having nightmares about this stupid dinosaur.
Really?
I screamed.
Yeah, it was see, the Raptors are clever. This thing was stupid intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I get lost in the movie, Steven.
Okay.
I let my
I will
imagination
say
run wild.
that the way that they used the Raptors is what scared the shit out of me.
It wasn't as bad as the commercials. Like, you thought Chris Pratt was going to train the Raptors, but they weren't trained.
No, they weren't.
Well, that's the whole point of all three of the movies
They
leading
just
up to
loved
this
him.
one is that you can't train raptors.
Yeah.
But they made the trailers seem like,
did.
he's going to train the Raptors.
But he didn't. He was
I
terrified.
loved that. Was my favorite part of the entire movie was that the trailers, they fooled you. 100%. You watch the trailers, you think, I know exactly what's going to happen. The first 15 minutes had every clip from the trailers in it. And then after that, you were completely blind for the rest of the movie. You had no idea what was going to happen.
Oh shit, God!
That's
He's going
true.
blind.
Actually, you know what? That's something that I thought was interesting about it too. Yeah. Okay, so I would like to tell you why I think Jurassic World is a better movie as far as entertainment value. I'm sure there's some sort of writing or something that Sam can objectively prove me wrong with. But I'm just gonna
because
say,
writing doesn't factor into the entertainment value at all.
Pacing, special effects, acting.
As a viewer of both movies, I would like to express my opinion of why I enjoyed Jurassic World more than Jurassic Park.
I'm not sure I was done with my objective.
Really?
Okay.
Are you not done with it?
Yeah, I was gonna point out that,
I didn't even get to
pacing.
state my case, and you presented your argument before the case was even made initially. Like, you preemptively struck with your argument.
I did.
So I would like to lay out
Yeah,
my
and I was a
position.
little over defensive.
I'd like to
Can
lay
you
out my
blame him
position.
though? I mean, it's Caleb.
What?
Nothing. I said, can you blame Sam? It's Caleb. So
Okay, so I would like to lay out my position here for you all and see how you feel about it.
okay.
Now, to be fair, Jurassic Park is going to fail in my view because I've seen it twice in my entire life. One was like, first time was like 10, 12 years ago, something like that. I didn't really remember it much. Then I read the book last year, just last year, and then watched the movie last week. And so my whole view of Jurassic Park, the story, is based off of the book rather than the movie.
Well, that's your problem.
So is mine.
Now, I tried to distance my opinion from the book, but
Never
I
do
just
that.
want to put it out there that the fact is that I am somewhat tainted by the book because the movie itself is like a super extremely abridged, like it's like a tour like of some of the key points of the book, but it's like a tour of like 10% of the book, and like the majority of characters are missing. The park itself is represented as being tiny. It's like 2 or 3 locations in Jurassic Park. The park seems like there's nothing going on. There's like 3 dinosaurs total in the entire movie. That's an exaggeration, but they only show
this exaggeration.
They actually only show like 4 different varieties of dinosaur.
Not true.
Okay, that may be an exaggeration too, but it's not very many. They barely show any dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Like, not nearly as many as you would expect for a park full of dinosaurs.
I think there's really only one thing about Jurassic World that I would say it's able to trump the first Jurassic Park. There's only one thing that Jurassic World has over Jurassic Park, and that is a complete and total lack of Jeff Goldblum. And when you get...
Okay. All right. We got a problem. We got a problem here because Jeff Goldblum is the best. In fact, I would like to invite.
They got dinosaurs.
I would like to invite our listener to an event that, after watching Jurassic World, myself and my sister discussed the lack of Jeff Goldblum and how that is a bummer. And then we also discussed our enjoyment of Jeff Goldblum as an actor, and we decided that we're going to be doing a movie marathon called Just for Jeff Month. And
watch The Fly.
And we're going to watch.
We're
going to watch Jeff Goldblum movies, and we're just gonna.
The Fly is one of the 3 good Jeff
Goldblum movies. Is it?
Any movie
the ones that he stars in, or just any movie he's in?
Any movie he's in. Now, we're not going to watch his entire catalog in 1 month, but we are.
You have to watch The Fly, though.
It's going to be a once-yearly thing.
You should totally at some point watch.
August is the month. We're kicking it off on August 1st. We haven't determined how many movies we're going to watch in that month.
You also have to watch Death Wish.
Okay. That's,
also, Soul Man.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll figure out the list
the Grand
when we get there.
Budapest Hotel.
That's a great... I don't like saying that about Wes Anderson movies. That's
what?
Don't blame you.
We'll get there. We'll figure out the list. I'm just saying, everybody should join us. I'll post details whenever we sort out exactly what it is.
You understand. The Fly has to be on that list. If it's not, I will disown you.
There is no Jeff Goldblum film greater than The Fly.
Because his acting in that is so good. Because
it's the only movie he's really objectively good in.
Sam, Just for Jeff Month is going to be annual, which means what we don't watch in this year, we'll watch next year or the year after that. Or
you say you're number 2 for all this B-roll stuff. You watch like Independence Day and Jurassic Park and The Fly and Death Wish this year. He's in Death Wish for like 5 minutes.
Okay, we will make sure to have those in there. This is a record of what's going to be in there. But we're going to have other movies too. We're just going to look through his IMDb page and pick out movies and watch them.
I will drive down there and shove this movie down in your sister's throat.
You really don't need to. You can you could just mail us the DVD and we'll watch it.
No,
I'm still wondering what Sam said about Grand Budapest because I didn't hear that.
Skype.
It was funny. Hey, no, we gotta get back on topic here about Jurassic Park because I want to rebuttal Caleb's Jurassic.
No, hold on. I didn't actually get to finish.
Yeah, I said when you're done.
Dude, just get to the point.
Okay,
land the plane, Caleb.
So, Jurassic Park versus Jurassic World. Okay? First off, the kids in Jurassic World were far more interesting as characters.
I will give you that.
And Jurassic World made the amazing decision to only have the kids in any kind of peril for like the first 30 minutes of the movie, the first 30 minutes of things going down, and then they were just safe. They were just in safety, sitting in a truck, which allowed us to focus on the people that we care about, which are not the kids. And that was, I thought, a great move because the kids are always the least interesting part of a Jurassic anything.
Yeah, like Jurassic
because they're
Park
annoying.
Or 3.
Yeah, I will give you. No, that's the thing. That's one of the things I really liked about Jurassic World was that opening scene when they're getting ready to go to the park. I thought, man, this writing is really good, but then it stopped being good after that scene.
Now,
I liked the fact in Jurassic World that the ant like actually did well at keeping them under control. Because that's my least favorite part of the Jurassic Park movies is like, you know, if somebody just smacked this kid's ass and sat it down in a seat and told it not to move, things wouldn't be this out of control.
Yeah,
That's a
And
good
she
point.
did. She just looked at him and she was like, you stay there.
yeah,
And they did.
And okay, but that does bring up a problem though. Aunt Claire in this movie, Aunt Claire. I don't know the actress's name. I know she's been in stuff.
Bryce Dallas Howard. She's the daughter of Ron Howard.
Ron Howard's daughter.
What?
Yeah. She was also Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, she was.
She also played the lead in the last two good, well, the last good M. Night Shyamalan movie and the first really crappy M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Village and The Lady in the Water.
Wait.
She was the blind chick in The Village. and she was the Lady in the Water.
He
in
counts
The Lady in
The
the Water.
Village as the last
Seriously?
good M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Well, I mean, you can tell he's starting to go.
We just
No, he already went, but-
should be saved for next
Hang on,
time.
Caleb. Maybe he's ignoring the ending. Like, if you think about it, it's actually a really good movie up until the end.
Yeah, that is true.
It is.
If you take
great
out the
suspense.
obligatory M. Night Shyamalan twist, it's a great film.
It has great suspense elements, and it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's a good movie up until the end. But then the end is so bad that you're like, dang it! This was going to be a good
you can
movie.
tell at The Village. You can tell he's on his way out. Like he's not the golden child anymore. Like The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, his two best films have passed.
Signs.
No,
Signs-
Signs is
I don't
definitely.
know. I thought his swan song was Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Quiet you.
It
No.
was so nuanced.
Okay, whatever, Steven, with your Sixth
I haven't
Sense.
watched a movie of his since The Happening. Okay, That's all I'm
Unbreakable and
saying.
Signs. Unbreakable and Signs are his finest works.
You should watch Devil.
Unbreakable is his single greatest film, and anyone who says otherwise is lying.
Unbreakable is absolutely his finest film. But
I
Signs
really like
Signs
The
is
Patriot.
number 2. And The Sixth Sense is number 3, because there's not a lot of options after number 2.
I was gonna say, how can you not love The Sixth Sense though?
I don't know. It was really obvious.
Even so,
I was quite fond of his work on the Doors biopic.
Matt, you're thinking of all over. Never mind. Just ignore Matt, guys.
Bruce Willis, why does nobody ever talk to you? Bruce Willis, why does Haley Joel Osment's mom think that it's okay for him to just be out and about random places with no supervision?
Okay, so back to Jurassic World.
Jurassic World is more Bruce Willis.
No,
Everybody
nothing needs
needs
Bruce
more
Willis.
Bruce Willis,
Bruce
let's be
Willis is the
honest.
worst. Bruce Willis today. Have you seen him in a movie recently? He doesn't care anymore about anything at all.
Doesn't. That's
that's
funny.
why Bruce Willis is awesome, because Bruce Willis has never cared.
Bruce
I can
Willis
prove
doesn't take himself seriously anymore, and it's hilarious.
Bruce Willis never took himself seriously. Am I the only one who saw Hudson Hawk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like so.
Or any of his appearances on Friends.
Hudson Hawk is a great movie because it is the epitome of Bruce Willis no longer caring. It's just Bruce Willis in a movie being Bruce Willis, and the rest of the movie is just the most absurd. It makes The Fifth Element look sane.
But the
By
Fifth
comparison.
Element is awesome.
I don't disagree. Fifth Element's an awesome movie, but it's freaking insane.
It is.
And
I've
Hudson
never
Hawk,
even looked into Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk makes The Fifth Element look lucid.
You know what? I feel like your definition of sane and insane is different than mine. We should watch The Cemetery,
Probably.
man.
No thanks.
We should watch The Cemetery.
No.
Have you never seen it?
I kind of want to keep his friendship for a little bit longer.
No, what? There's nothing wrong with Cemetery Man. It's great.
Yeah.
Caleb-
Cemetery
Almost
Man.
broke up with him.
Cemetery Man.
Caleb, your favorite Marvel movie is Iron Man.
strengthened.
I don't think I can really
Dude,
accept
My
It
it.
favorite
is.
Marvel,
He posts
Marvel
on
movie is
Facebook.
Iron Man. That's pretty good.
He posted on Facebook where him and his sister thought that the soundtrack from How to Train Your Dragon is one of the greatest soundtracks in cinema history.
Dude.
Have you ever actually listened to the How to
Yes,
Train
and it's awesome, but it's not even
Have you ever
audible.
listened to
so
anything that John
freaking
Williams has
awesome.
written?
Dude, freaking Ennio Morricone?
Are you
Guys,
talking
Seriously?
any movie or just cartoons? Because I'll give you cartoons, but any movie.
no. It's like genuine art.
It is.
There's no reason to belittle
Like,
an
unlike-
orchestra score
unlike
just
the
because it's from a
vast-
cartoon.
Unlike the vast majority of movie music, which is just kind of like churned out and follows the same like a basic, rhythm that some composer churned out for his 170th movie for the year. That's just a subtle variation on the last 169 movies that he did. this was like a genuine like musical adventure. You were like on a journey, and it ran the full gamut of emotions, and I found it to be a wonderful experience.
See, but I feel that way about every score I hear from John Williams.
I'm going to step in here and
what's one that he's done?
say that.
Go ahead, Matt.
I'm going to step in here and say that there is a lot of merit to scores that are done for cartoons or animated films, for the simple fact that in cartoons there is such attention paid to the way that the characters and the world is portrayed, and I mean, to some obvious extent, the facial reactions that these characters make are exaggerated, and therefore I've noticed that composers have made a very good point to express through music. And so when something really action-packed is, or even something small, like just the way a character looks at something, there's a crescendo or a build, or like just a certain way that he wants the violin to articulate. And I've noticed that in a lot of like big blockbusters or just big cinematic movies, it is very copy-paste from movie to movie.
Yeah, like anything that friggin' Hans Zimmer does, which is the
Hans
same
Zimmer
thing.
is a really good example of that.
He's
great.
Hans Zimmer.
Hans
Zimmer. Screw Hans Zimmer. He's a hack. Hans Zimmer is a hack. He wrote one thing. Hans Zimmer wrote one score, and he's been deviating from that score just one note here and there for his entire career.
You know he did The Lion King, right?
Do I care?
Yeah,
Let's be honest, that was Elton John.
No. Hans Zimmer actually wrote the score for The Lion King.
I don't even know what the Lion King score is.
Oh no, I'm just saying that's something that was early in his career, but it's still very different from
maybe once upon a time in his career.
And it's also an animated movie, which goes back to what I said.
Right.
Maybe once upon a time in his career, he was like young and full of energy and had all these ideas, but that was a long time ago.
To answer your question, Caleb, John Williams is the guy who did Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Jaws.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
E.T.
talking about. Those are all of those that you listed, with the possible exception of E.T., are all variations on the same concept too.
How so?
Star Wars and Indiana Jones follow very similar structure. Like if you listen to the two scores next to each other, they're extremely similar. Also, didn't he do Superman also?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Superman is Star Wars.
Wait,
Like
he didn't do all the Star Wars, did he?
He did. I don't think. Did he do the prequels? I know he did the first.
He did the original.
He did the original 3
trilogy, right?
He did the only trilogy worth mentioning at this juncture.
Okay.
I'm sure that John Williams is more varied and interesting to listen to than Hans Zimmer, for example. But I'm just saying, they're movie composers. I don't have much respect for any of them because they're all the same. Now, at the same time, it's unfair to really judge them against like art creators, composers who create, music for the sake of creating music, because their job isn't to crank out 20 or 30 scores a year.
Dude,
their job is to maybe crank out
20, 30 unique scores while he's on the toilet.
What?
Is this the morning poop or the afternoon poop?
This is morning.
This could definitely.
He's an old man, so it's his morning. So it takes about 8 hours.
I'm just saying.
It's also his only poop for the week.
Yeah.
Movie composers are expected to crank out probably, depending on what kind of composer, like Hans Zimmer probably has at least 6 movies a year that he does, probably more. So, the standards should be different, I guess, but at the same time, it's still not very good music.
And to sort of rebut your point a little bit, these are the guys who have been established based on a particular sound that they convey also.
Yeah.
And so if a particular producer, a particular filmmaker wants a particular sound, they're going to go to people that they know can embody exactly what it is that they're looking for.
Yes, and that's
true. I really want awkward and yet really spooky and enigmatic. Let's get that one weird guy from Oingo Boingo.
Danny Elfman, yes.
So I was going to say Danny Elfman.
Exact same.
But I love it all.
Danny Elfman?
Same song.
Especially if
Oingo Boingo
Danny
is
Elfman,
fantastic.
Danny Elfman, he is the worst.
his Batman theme defined that character.
Danny Elfman
That's
is
true.
like Danny
Ages.
Elfman is like the absolute worst example of this. What we're talking about here, like he's like the definition of what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
He only ever wrote one song. It's like
I don't know about that.
You guys want you guys we need to get Danny Elfman's song. How do we license that from him?
I think I think Danny Elfman is great at. I think Danny Elfman is very great at.
So
I think Danny Elfman is great at introducing tempo changes in the middle of like really actiony sequences where there's a lot of like angle changes. That's something I think he's really good at, whereas a lot of other composers would just like try to find a way to liven up a composition. Danny Elfman is really good at tempo changes and taking up really weird rhythms for the string section.
Man, I don't know what all that music stuff means.
Sorry, it's a habit.
Do you know who an underrated film composer is?
Who?
Because he only wrote music for his movies. John Carpenter.
He wrote music for his own movies?
Did he really?
Halloween, the Halloween theme, like one of the most iconic like movie songs of all time.
Oh yeah, John Carpenter did Halloween.
Like when he made The Thing,
And then Rob
people did
Zombie
not-
did Halloween.
Yeah, when he made The Thing,
Shut up.
people did not believe
Whose
that
was
he
better?
worked that music. They thought John Carpenter made the music.
the Tubular Bells.
The Fog. There's another movie that had a good soundtrack. He pretty much does all the music for his own movies. Except for
You know who else does all the music for his own movies? And I learned this just the other day. Robert Rodriguez
yeah, I was gonna say Robert Rodriguez.
does all
That's
the
awesome.
does the music for all his own
Terror
films.
is probably his only solid movie in which he did all the music. for
I
it.
liked his soundtrack for Kill Bill 2, and that's mainly just because I watched that yesterday. Yeah, he also wrote for Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill 2.
A song. 'Cause
No, he wrote the score.
There's no score in Kill Bill 2. There's no
Watch it again.
dude. There is no score in any Quentin Tarantino movie. The
No,
first movie
until Kill Bill's Volume
No,
1 and 2.
Actually, The Hateful Eight will be his first movie in which he has a score for. And guess who's making that score? Ennio Morricone, coming back from retirement to make a score for freaking.
How is Ennio Morricone alive?
I don't know. This guy is immortal. He is literally like 93 years old.
No, actually,
I'm
I
going to
just
go out on a
watched-
limb and say that Nightwish's last album was about him.
What?
I
I
didn't
don't know what
listen
those words
to it.
mean.
I don't know what that meant
Nightwish.
either. Yeah,
Nightwish's last album,
You know the band?
one, yeah, with the last album that they did with the composer. Not their newest one, but the one before that. I'm not counting their newest one.
he's not counting the
Oh,
newest
okay.
one.
Not
that
counting the newest
That
one.
one
Got it.
sucked.
I don't know what you guys are talking
I
about.
don't know what Matt's talking about. So let's ignore him. Well, no. We have an argument. I'm sorry, Matt, but there's something seriously going on here. He has had no score that's not taken from another movie.
The RZA wrote
RZA.
the-
His name's RZA.
Whatever.
Call him RZA. Come on.
Shut up. Wrote. I don't listen to Wu-Tang, so I have a valid excuse.
At least you know where he's from.
Wrote. It's only because I watched the documentaries on the discs yesterday. But he wrote the score, or the only score that existed in Kill Bill Volume 1. He wrote originally for that film. Robert Rodriguez wrote the original score pieces for Kill Bill Volume 2.
That's all like 30 seconds of plucking at the guitar.
No, it's all over the place,
No,
man.
it's not. Dude, I have
If you
the
know,
soundtracks.
I
They are-
have the
I don't know.
movie.
I have the movie too. You
Robert
understand.
Rodriguez is the only person credited for music in Kill Bill Volume 2, so...
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah, on
not-
I'm looking at it on IMDb right now.
That's gay.
Music
Told
by
you.
Robert Rodriguez.
That'd probably be a soundtrack to a Tarantino movie that's not like from every other movie ever made.
Well, and that's Tarantino was saying, I've only ever done that before, but I wanted this one to be different, so...
Well, this Hateful Eight's not going to be. Hateful Eight's going to have an actual soundtrack to it.
No, I figured. I'm actually kind of surprised that Django didn't, to be quite honest with you.
Well, it had some songs from other movies.
It had some stuff in there, yeah.
Lots of songs from other movies.
Man, Django was really good until that one part where you were like, why is the movie not over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much after Christoph Waltz died, I stopped caring.
Well, yeah, the movie should have ended it there. Like that was kind of the ending of the movie. Like you had that all wrapped up in that scene right there, and then they kept going, and you're like, oh, okay. There's more. Oh, you're going back to just do everything over again. Okay.
Why are we doing this again?
Yeah. Like, do we really need to?
Did you have some film you needed to burn up for like tax reasons or something?
Quentin Tarantino is becoming the Stephen King of filmmaking, where he just decides to not end movies when he should, and just keep filming 5 or 6 different endings.
Yeah.
I thought about making a sequel, but I was like, no, I can just tack on like 45 minutes extra to the first film.
Oh, come on, Christopher Nolan.
Quentin Tarantino, if we don't use up
This
this
will be
film,
way better than adding the whole subplot with Jonah Hill's character.
And Zoe Bell's character and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the movie yet, though. Like this. Apparently, Django Unchained is like 7 times longer than the actual movie was. The script is because they cut out all of the subplots.
I believe it. Well, I mean, if they'd have done that with Kill Bill, it would have been, a one manageable movie, but you kind of needed all that stuff in there.
It was one manageable movie, but
told in 2 parts.
Yeah, your layman audiences can't handle a 4-hour-long movie.
Not anymore.
Why didn't they just do that?
David Lynch kind of ruined that for everybody.
What did he make?
Dune.
Yeah, thanks, David Lynch.
Yeah, seriously, you ruined everything. That's the new hashtag. Thanks, David Lynch.
Wait, wasn't Dune supposed to not be a very good representation of the book anyway?
Well, I mean,
That's what I've been told.
It's David Lynch, so the book pretty much throw the book out the window.
Okay.
It's not a good representation of the book, but it's a good representation of a freaking long movie.
Okay.
You know what also is a good representation of a freaking long movie by my favorite filmmaker, and it was his worst movie? Once Upon a Time in America.
Wait, which edit is a
Sergio
freaking
Leone?
long movie?
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite filmmakers, but that movie was not worth watching the 4-hour-long version of because it wasn't a very good movie. You
Is
should have
there a
watched it.
version that is worth watching?
No, you shouldn't have. Francis Ford Coppola did.
I was going to say Coppola was incredible
Yeah.
with The Godfather.
Yeah.
Although I found out
Apparently-
Orson Welles really wanted the role of Don Corleone, but
Dude, Orson Welles was supposed to be in Dune.
Coppola had his heart set on Brando, and so he turned him down.
Huh.
Wells lobbied hard
I
for
wonder
Don
how-
Corleone.
Ooh. I would like to see.
Apparently, there is a version of the first Star Wars movie being released that is like at least a whole hour longer.
Oh, with all the extra scenes from like Tashi Station and with where you first meet Biggs and all that stuff.
Ooh, are you
Yeah,
gonna have
like it adds
all
so
the
much
Jabba
unnecessary
scenes?
context.
All the Jabba scenes? Just Jabba all over the place, right? Is it going
Just
to be
put him in the background of every scene.
Wait, is all that added in content going to be done with all the 1996 CG that we know and love?
Oh, I hope not.
It's the new improved version that comes out every year with one extra CG scene.
So, Sam, how would you like to rebut my Jurassic Park thing?
Which one? Which one?
Is it even worth it now?
The thing about how Jurassic Park wasn't that great of a movie?
Versus the book?
Yeah, what are your thoughts about the versus the book thing? Because
Well, here's the here's the thing. It's not so much this is not an objective rebuttal. It's more of a amusing because the book and the movie are so thematically different from each other.
True.
You're taking the same story told by 2 completely different people. Like the characters, like the way that they're ending. Like Steven Spielberg was out to make a more family friendly, more magical movie, whereas Michael Crichton's all nihilistic and depressing.
yeah, but
Like,
Michael,
it's, like,
Michael
I enjoy
Crichton's
it.
version of the story is a better version.
Yes and no. They actually have their pros and cons. The thing is, it is just 2 different. It's the same story being told by 2 different people, and I like it kind of like that because it is. You're getting 2 like different themes.
It is. I mean, the 2 are completely. It's almost unfair to call the Jurassic Park movie Jurassic Park because they're, with the exception of the setting and the character names, there's very little that's actually the same between book and film.
Since it's a Spielberg flick and it was supposed to be more family friendly, do you think it would be fair from now on to call it Jurassic Playground?
I like that. No, let's call it that.
I hope that's what the
So
next
much easier to differentiate.
Okay,
No,
so
the next
now
one's
that
going to be Jurassic Cart, following
Now-
the Super Mario.
now that the book is completely out the window, then I would just say that I don't know. Jurassic World was more entertaining. It's more fun.
Yeah, but it's also way more awful.
was
But
more
at the same
fun
time,
though.
fun because it was awful.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
awful, but it was fun. Like,
it
I'm not
was-
saying that it was like a good. I'm not saying it was a great achievement of filmmaking. I'm saying that it was
Yes,
an
but
entertaining movie to watch.
Jurassic Park was a great achievement of filmmaking.
And Jurassic Park
Yes,
reinvented the blockbuster.
Jurassic
After
Park.
Steven Spielberg already invented it with Jaws.
Yes.
Jurassic Park made the blockbuster viable again. Summer blockbusters really had kind of faded until Jurassic Park came along and stayed in theaters until December.
Yeah.
So,
Unfortunately,
I mean-
summer blockbusters are dying again.
And
I don't know if I'm upset about that.
It's
I'm not
unfortunate
really that
because
upset about it
it's
either.
unfortunate because of why they're dying. They're dying because they all suck.
They do.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Can we? That's unfortunate, right?
I
Like,
don't know. I've seen a
wouldn't we
couple of
rather
good
have-
movies this summer.
yeah, but okay, maybe you've seen them this summer, but think of the past 10 years. Think of the past 10 years and think of the summer blockbusters. There haven't been a lot of good ones.
When does the summer
Speaking
blockbuster
of
start?
summer movies
May.
and movies
So, yeah,
that
Mad Max
haven't
is-
been that
Mad
great,
Max was all that they had.
Yeah,
Mad Max is easily the best film of this summer, hands down.
I didn't see it. That's where my statement came from.
Caleb.
I tried, but it was out of
Caleb.
theaters by the time I went.
I'm glad you enjoyed that as much as you did.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I loved about Mad Max. This is not ruining anything for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, Caleb. But for me, Mad Max it's a great action film.
Yeah.
So, sparing everything else, it's a
Purely
great action
action
film.
film.
But not purely action, because it's also got something very profound to say if you know where to look. And if you're looking for it, the message and the theme of that film is unbelievable. And I had to have it explained to me because I'm really slow and I've only seen it once. But, and if you look at it through that lens, what is the film saying about, for example, women? What is the film saying about people of color? What is the film saying about white males? You look at these questions and you apply them to the film, and it really does have something incredibly profound to say.
The controversy this movie stirred was good, legitimate controversy. Like,
Yeah.
profound, like actual
But-
progressive controversy.
The thing that I liked about it was it didn't force feed it to you.
No, exactly.
You were allowed to either recognize that and see it, or completely ignore it
No, and that's-
just see the action.
and that's what
And
I'm saying.
complain
It's not-
about how the movie
it's
didn't have enough story.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't have to view it one way or the other. It was not somebody's forced opinion was not shoved down your throat.
Right.
That's why George Miller is an amazing filmmaker.
That's why we all owe a debt of gratitude to the man who brought us Babe 2 Pig in the City.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one thing I was reading.
Never
an
saw
article, it was talking about. It was talking about how cool it is that George Miller kept with all these like modern ways of making the movie. Like there's a lot of modern style cinematography, action cinematography in that. And I think I was thinking of the whole time I was watching this was, dude, this is like a George Miller movie. This is like the old Mad Max movies. This guy invented the action movie. Like he perfected the action movie with those Mad Max. Like modern action comes from those movies. So it's funny when they say he's falling the no. Like no, he's just doing what he does, and that's make great film.
Matt, what were you saying?
Maybe created it.
What were you
Just
saying
speak of
when
the
you were
controversy of this
rudely?
film.
Oh gosh, Matt was trying to say something a long time ago. Then he was
Sorry, Matt,
rudely
go
cut
ahead.
off
No,
by
it's all
Mad
good.
Max talk.
we were talking about blockbusters and summer movies, and I had the thought, speaking of all that, what do you guys think about the fact that Ant-Man apparently had the lowest sales out of all the Marvel movies since 2008?
Yes.
Ant-Man
Except
looked
for-
really
except for the
dumb.
Incredible
So
Hulk.
Ant-Man looked really dumb. So I'm not surprised.
It's actually pretty fun. I saw it on my birthday, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've been seeing people that like
It's a fun movie.
went to see it, like my director friend Brad in California. Granted, he works for Marvel, so it's a little biased. But he said it was really fun. I mean, let's be honest. But
My
yeah,
dad
I've
works
been
at
seeing people
Nintendo.
that- Does he really?
Yeah, he told me about the new. They're making a new F-Zero game. It's going to be great.
Does he like Nintendo?
No, he thinks Nintendo's stupid.
I don't know. I'm
Well,
lost.
I don't think anyone caught what Caleb said. So
here's the thing that I find interesting about Ant-Man. I never knew it was coming out until it came out.
Yeah, that's another thing. I didn't know when it came out.
About Ant-Man was the fact that it completely failed its opening weekend.
I don't think it completely failed, though.
Here's the thing. Well, according to Matt, it's the lowest grossing Marvel movie ever.
But here's the thing. It performed below. If you're comparing it to the Avengers,
but we're
which
not.
has
We're comparing it
established
to just
star
all
power,
Marvel movies.
then yes, it's
I'm
going to look
comparing
like
it
a
to
failure.
The fact that the Barney movie probably made better money than it did.
There was a Barney movie?
Yeah, there was back in the 90s. But let's just talk about the fact that I literally never even heard that Ant-Man was coming out.
The budget for this film was
came
super
out.
small, so it's probably already recouped its budget.
Okay, then it probably is successful, technically.
Which means it's a success. But here's the thing. It's not the greatest Marvel film ever, but it's far from the worst Marvel film ever.
It's no Iron Man.
But on the basis of Marvel films, it should have done so much better. The fact that I didn't hear about it until it came out, with all of the social media and everything, I hear about movies the moment they are thought of. Like
I have a sneaking suspicion that Ant-Man's going to be a sleeper hit.
Yeah, okay. 5 years from now, everybody's going to be like, oh my gosh, Ant-Man, my favorite movie ever.
I think that the
No,
Marvel movie thing is getting a little oversaturated.
it is. And I think
I heavily agree with that.
Here.
And I didn't realize that until Age of Ultron. And Age of Ultron was a movie that made me go, you know what, this might be a little too much.
Yeah.
Because Age of Ultron was just action scene after action scene after action scene. And not in the fun George Miller, Mad Max Fury Road action scene after action scene, but the kind of, we're trying to like make a plot out of these various action scenes and not doing very well.
Okay, yes. Avengers Age of Ultron managed to have action scene after action scene after action scene and be boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you do that?
Ask Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon's school for how to make something that is like inherently exciting boring.
Wow.
Let's see, but I don't think that's indicative of his work at all.
It's not, but I'm just saying he could definitely start a school that teaches that.
Well, and I think, honestly, I've read a
proven
lot
his
about the
prowess.
film, and I think one of the biggest problems with the film was the fact that what he wanted to do and what the studio wanted to do came into conflict.
No, that's what he always says. I feel like I'm beginning to suspect that this is not true.
But no, you look at the first Avengers film, and that film was great. That's to my thinking the best Marvel film to date.
It was
I
all
know
right.
Caleb disagrees with me, and that's fine. He can because he's wrong. But because it weighs everything equally, the balance is completely thrown off in Age of Ultron. And I don't think it's because Joss Whedon doesn't know how to tell a story.
No,
Joss
I don't
Whedon's
think
told
that
some-
either. I think
Joss
that
Whedon
I
has
do
told
know
some
that
really
Marvel
compelling
is-
stories.
I think that,
Marvel has been super strict about what directors and what writers can and can't do with
Right,
the
and
IPs
Kevin-
because they're super set on what is happening.
Right.
And I know
Kevin
that Joss
Feige
Whedon is
disagrees.
hating that.
Kevin Feige disagrees, but I think he's got a reason to be defensive about that. Whereas Joss Whedon said in a podcast I heard about shortly after the film was released that they basically, the best scenes in Age of Ultron were the scenes, and I don't think anyone will disagree, at the farmhouse.
yes.
The scenes
They were.
because that's where
Yes.
the character development happened.
Yeah.
And basically, what Marvel did is they wanted to set up Phase 3. So they've got all this stuff about Thor going off on his own to have a vision quest about the Infinity Stones.
Yes.
And which
Vision quest that we didn't get to see happen. Because
Right,
we got to see
and
like a
that
little
is-
snippet of a vision, and then we got told, "Hey, there was a Vision quest, and it was awesome," but you didn't get to see it.
you saw part of it. You saw each of the stones kind of coming up and
Yeah, but-
forming this thing. But that's
but-
it. That's literally all you saw.
Yeah.
And apparently what happened is they told Joss Whedon, hey, we want to put this stuff in the film. And Joss Whedon wisely said, there's really not a place for it in this film. And they said, well, you put this stuff in the film or we're going to cut all the farmhouse stuff. They basically put a gun to the head of the
wow.
character development and
That's
said, you're going to
awful.
put this stuff in. And so,
Either
and
throw this stuff
honestly,
in or we take out your character development.
right. You
If they
take out,
cut
you
out
take
the
out the only part of
farmhouse,
this
then
film
they-
that's actually any good.
That is bad. That's a bad move.
Right, and so to me, I wanted more character development. Like Captain America, his only character development is like 4 lines about home, about what home feels like. That's it. That's his character development for the film. There were more lines in there surrounding his throwaway joke at the beginning of the film,
Yes.
language, than there was about any character
cringe-tastic.
development on his part.
I hated
Which is
every moment
infuriating
of
because
that.
Captain America is my favorite Avenger.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about something. This
Yes,
is a
Sam,
big
Captain
deal.
America is my favorite Avenger. Quit looking at me like that.
No one's favorite Avenger.
He's mine. I love Captain America.
I mean, Captain Avenger. Captain America? Guys, I've had the most to drink here. I'm going to apologize, but I am only hearing bits and pieces of things, and the speech level is even lesser than my hearing. So,
What?
yeah.
Go ahead, Caleb.
Steven.
Yeah.
So this is a generally a problem that I had with Avengers: Age of Ultron, which was exactly as you were saying. There's no character development in the entire movie. Like,
Right.
and the problem, the biggest problem I think that there is in the movie as far as character development is that all the character development that happened, the quote unquote character development that happens, is telling us stuff about the characters instead of showing us stuff about the characters. Like,
Yeah.
for like probably the best example is like when the twins tell their story about being trapped under the rubble, and I'm like sitting here going, why are we watching a shot of these people talking about this thing that happened when we're
Exactly.
watching a movie? They could have just filmed this stuff and then shown us
Film
the
is a visual
emotion.
medium.
Story of a story.
Visually.
They could have shown us the emotion on the kids' faces as they're like under the rubble with the Tony Stark missile sitting in front of them, and like, you know,
Which
that
is a
would have made
powerful
me
image that honestly harkens us back to the first Iron Man movie.
Yes, exactly. It would have made me care about the characters, but I didn't care about them because they just told us a story where they had angry face on about the thing that happened a long time ago.
Yes, I completely agree with you there.
and Ultron also, his character had no development. Like,
There-
Ultron seemed like he could be a really interesting character, but we didn't ever get shown any of his motives. Like, we know his motives because they're obvious. Like, his motives are his character is such an obvious character that that we know what his motivation is in the whole time, and he tells us all about his motivation. But we don't ever actually like. I really don't feel like that. I know anything about Ultron's like thinking beyond the obvious that was just apparent from watching, from just like give anybody a synopsis of the story and they're like, oh yeah, Ultron thinks humans are not good enough, and
there was a complete wasted opportunity there with Ultron and Tony Stark that, again, I felt like was completely missed. For Tony to actually come face to face with his own hubris, with his own fallibility, and, you know, the fact that he can't save everyone, and the fact that he is more flawed than he's ever realized, and because Ultron is the embodiment of all of that for him.
Yep.
And they talk about it a couple times, but other than that, it's completely skipped right over.
Yeah.
In order
We
to bring
never
us
get
the
to-
Vision, who, again, we could play with that idea with, but we don't, because we only have X amount of time to tell the rest of the story.
The whole movie was like a glimpse into what could have been. Every scene is a glimpse into what this scene could have been had it been a different, better movie.
Yeah, and again, I find it really hard to fault Joss Whedon on that, because in to hear him tell the story, this is in a lot of ways the most personal film he's ever made, which I think is a very telling remark. But this movie, according to him, almost killed him. Like, apparently this was a really difficult movie for him to make, which is why he's not making anything for a long while. He's kind of taking a break because this movie kind of, in his words, broke him. And hearing just if just the things that I heard about the movie happened, it was bad enough. But there's probably a whole lot of other stuff that he's not telling people due to, you know, contract or non-disclosure or whatever.
Joss Whedon annoys me.
I'm sorry.
Like, this is irritating. It's like, you think he would freaking learn. Stop doing this stuff. Make your own stuff. Stop listen. Like, you think the producer would learn? Like, oh man, it's Joss Whedon. You should probably listen to what he says.
Well,
But then-
producers don't learn, though, because that's not what they do.
Yeah, the producer, and I've been reading a book about Orson Welles lately, and I'm sorry for keeping to bring it back to Orson Welles, but I love the guy so much.
Hey, that's fine. I got no problem
And
with
he's
Orson Welles.
he was talking in the 30s and 40s about how the role of the producer is one of the most worthless in Hollywood. And I kind of have to agree with him, and the fact that the system hasn't figured that out yet is a sure sign that it'll never be better. Producers aren't there to make good films; they're there to make money.
Well, I think that in a lot of ways, though, the system kind of is destined to never figure it out, but the system is also possibly not going to always be here. Especially, right now, the independent film scene right now, I think, is just a kind of a glimpse into what will be the future of film in general.
Are you insinuating that there might be a paradigm shift?
Yeah, I don't think that there's any chance that Hollywood will hold on to what we think of as cinema forever. It's inevitable.
That's kind of why I'm excited that the summer blockbusters are going to die. Because it'll be exciting to see that go away. All those massive cash cows just go away.
Because that means Hollywood's going to have to find a different solution.
Okay. Sorry. They already are started?
I was going to say, with things like Netflix becoming more and more popular, I think they're starting to look toward the internet to solve all their problems, like most of the world has at this point. So I think we can see more of that kind of model playing into the way Hollywood works and the way Hollywood does its business.
Okay, can we go back to Jurassic World real quick? Can we talk about who made that movie? Can we talk about the director? No. Can we talk about the director?
Sure.
Okay, talk about the director. Do you know who the guy is?
No,
enlighten
us.
He made one movie before he made this. It was called Safety Not Guaranteed. Great little short. It's a great little independent film starring Audrey Plaza.
Okay.
And about a reporter investigating a guy who claims he's got time travel, but like he may or may not. And it's cool because you're like, oh man, am I going to be emotionally crushed at the end of this movie, or is this going to be happy? So Safety Not Guaranteed emotionally. He made that, and then somehow he got all this money to make the highest grossing movie of all time, I guess, or it's like the biggest opening box office of all time.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. The guy went from making an independent movie, like one movie. He made one movie to make this. Like, I don't know who he talked to or what.
I was going to say, it's probably a networking thing.
Yeah, I think it's Colin Trevor, I think is his name.
Colin Trevorrow or something, or Trevor Collinow or something like that.
He probably has a rich parent who knows somebody.
I don't know. It's just fun to see something like that happen. Like, that's insane.
Well, and honestly, Hollywood is full of people that go to see like these tiny films and then network from there. Like, I was watching The Usual Suspects the other day because I found it when I was going out of my old apartment into the place I now share with my wife, and I was like, "Oh, let's watch this." And Kevin Spacey is at this short film that Christopher McQuarrie and Bryan Singer put together, and he's like, "Wow, that was really good. Hey guys, call me if you ever have anything that you might want to collaborate on." And so the next thing they make is The Usual Suspects, and they call Kevin Spacey, and I mean that was basically what it was. Is they had him in mind for this character, and he said, I really like this character. And they're like, okay, cool. We're going to put you in this movie. I mean, Hollywood is full of stories like that.
You see a lot of that in horror movies, though. Like Saw or Paranormal Activity, where they made something like with no money.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, I mean, the independent film boom of the 90s that gave us guys like Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino and Kevin Smith and, this group of actors that are more or less established Hollywood icons at this point. Who at the time were the young upstarts that nobody had ever heard of, who were challenging the way that that the established guys like Spielberg and Coppola are making and doing films. And now there's a new group of young directors that are coming up and doing the same thing to what they started. I mean, it's going to continue to be a self-perpetuating cycle in some ways. Honestly, I think a lot of the big talents coming from out of the country, Cuarón, the guy who did freaking Birdman was that Mexican guy. Starts with a C, I think. I don't remember, but he's really awesome too. I knew his name like 10 seconds ago, and I've completely forgotten.
Same guy who did Gravity and Children.
No, that's Cuarón.
That's Cuarón. Okay, that guy.
He's the guy who did Babel and Beautiful and.
So Corona, whatever you want to call him.
Corona.
He's a guy whose movies have like really weak plots, but amazing, phenomenal cinematography.
Yeah,
Children of Men.
Who does the cinematography for him?
He does. It's his stuff.
I mean, no,
He's
I'm
because
sure
his own
someone
cinematographer?
physically does it, but here's the thing: all of that's his. It's not like the DOP company came up with all the stuff. It's not just he's making a movie and he has the same guy doing the stuff. It's his stuff. Like someone's physically working the cameras for him, but it's all his vision. Like, have you seen the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie coming out,
no,
or the new trailer for it? What the heck is it called?
I don't know.
Waste or something like that. It looks freaking insane. It's Cuarón's new movie. It looks freaking insane. But I have a feeling it's going to have kind of a weak plot.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what? Besides Children of Men, what else did he do?
Gravity.
Oh,
Cuarón
yeah.
did Gravity and
Gravity was really visually cool.
yeah.
So
It won a metric butt ton of Oscars,
Yeah.
and deservedly so.
Well, you know what his thing is. You know what his shtick is, right? Long shots.
Well, yeah.
Just like constantly going with no cuts.
Yeah.
And then it works out so well because he makes them really exciting and actiony.
Yeah.
Well, and
that's
I
a
mean,
good
that
stick
was-
to have.
Yeah.
That
If
was
you
what
can do
made
it well.
Birdman so amazing, is that you've got these incredible, long, perfectly orchestrated shots that really make the whole movie look like one seamless, long, continuing shot.
Did you ever see Russian Ark?
No.
I saw Russian Ark.
I
I've
was
heard it's-
actually
I've
just
heard it's
about to ask.
unbelievable.
Isn't that the one that is a single shot, like hour-long
Yes.
movie or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all... and they did, I think, 2 takes. And the first take, like, something about halfway through screwed up. And then they did the second take, and they got it all in the second take.
You know what's fun? They filmed the entire movie in 3 days.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cost-effective way to make a movie.
You know, the weird thing is they won't talk... No, they will not talk about the making of it at all. Like
That's probably wise.
Yeah. Like, don't want, like, everyone keeps questioning, but, like they're all, like, really secret and private about it.
And that's probably for the best, because if everyone knew how to do it, everyone would.
Yeah. And it's fun, because...
There's a reason why no one does it.
You should see that movie. Like, it's
I want
actually
to.
a really
It's
good
on
movie.
my list of movies to see.
Yeah, like... And there's
Did
goofs.
they-
Like, you don't know the goofs.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this soldier accidentally looked this direction. What a screw up. I'm like, there were like 10,000. They had 10,000 actors in this movie. Literally,
Yeah.
I think it was up
Yeah.
to. I was actually like closer to 4,000 to 5,000 actors in the movie.
But it's kind of all going through this museum. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it's so good. The story is actually pretty interesting. The story is actually good.
Yeah, I've heard wonderful things, so I would like to see it at some point.
Did they get a bunch of a bunch of professional, like, marching band people to do it? Because those people have they're really good at the whole timing and you know stuff.
No, they just got like 4,000 actors and choreographed the entire.
No,
Well, I was
way.
going to say, if
Their
you've
secret
got
has
an
gotta
actor
have
that
something
knows
to
what
do
they're
with
doing, timing
marching
is
band.
not an issue. Choreography, I mean, I've been in some tightly choreographed shows, some that you wouldn't even consider choreographed, but just, I mean, every actor knew where they needed to be, when they needed to be there, how they needed to get there. And if you know all that stuff, it's gonna, and if you rehearse it enough, it's gonna go well.
Did the director or whoever was creatively most influential come from a stage background?
I don't know anything about them.
I
would
suspect that
imagine
would probably
so.
help.
That would make that would make a lot of sense. Were that the
I mean,
case?
where else are you going to know 4,000 actors?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, I want to I just to go back to Ant-Man for a second because I just
Sure.
remembered something. Do you guys find it interesting that Edgar Wright is still credited as the writer? Well, he's credited as one of like 4 or 5 writers.
Well, he's one
He-
of 4 writers of the screenplay, but story by it's him and Joe Cornish who wrote the original screenplay. And from what I understand about the whole process, he wrote the screenplay, and then Adam McKay and Paul Rudd just kind of punched it up a little bit. But they kept his basic story outline that he'd had since like 2007 when he first started developing this
I
film.
remember that.
I mean, yeah, he's basically been developing this thing forever.
But the
and
question
just
is,
continually clashing with the studio on how to do it.
why did he get kicked out of his story if a punched up version of his story ended up being the one that was told?
My guess is, and no one will really talk about it, but there were quote unquote creative differences between the studio and Edgar Wright, apparently. And again, we can only guess as to what those might be, but there, again, some differences in the way Edgar Wright wanted to make the movie and the way Marvel wanted to make the movie.
My guess is that somebody at the studio saw Scott Pilgrim and was like, "Is this what you're gonna do? Are you gonna make this movie?"
Well, and I mean, there were some elements in that movie that, and honestly, what I think happened is Marvel wanted it to set up a lot more of their Phase 3, and Edgar Wright was like, "Why? We don't need to. It's not really that essential." And to some degree, he'd be right. There were parts of that movie that were just like, "We don't need this. It's fun." And honestly, that's what Ant-Man was. It was fun. It was a fun movie, and the best part of the movie, I'm gonna go on record right now, and I'm gonna say it straight up. Best part of the movie, Michael Pena. And if you don't know who that is, you will as soon as you're done seeing Ant-Man, because he is the funniest part of that movie.
I was actually going to ask you. I was going to ask you, since you'd seen it, and I knew that Paul Rudd and who's the other guy that was credited for writing?
Adam McKay?
Yeah, they both basically wrote for Anchorman.
Well,
and
Adam
when I
McKay
heard
did
that,
Anchorman, but Paul Rudd was in that movie. I think this is the first time they've written together.
Yeah, and they were both involved in that, and then to find out that they both worked on the script for Ant-Man, I was kind of trepidatious.
It's,
and so I was wondering how that played out on film.
It's not Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's funny. I mean, it is a really funny film. It is, and
well, I think it would be a very different approach in comedy in general from Guardians.
It is. It's a very different kind of film, but it's also not like the first Anchorman where you're like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. It's a very different kind of comedy, and in some ways, I'm impressed that Paul Rudd is able to play it as subdued as he does, because he kind of finds himself in the straight man role more often than not. But you know, there are some scenes there are things that are legitimately funny about the film. There are parts of the film that are laugh out loud funny, and I did in fact laugh out loud. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's fun. It's an entertaining film. And we saw it in 3D. The wife bought us 3D tickets, and honestly, I kind of liked it in 3D, if for no other reason than the quantum realm scene. That's all I'll say. Yeah, I know. But the quantum realm scene actually makes the 3D part worth it. It's pretty fun.
3D is never worth it.
Well,
I don't know what it is about Paul Rudd, but I find him very likable.
And he is in this role as well. You know, he plays a thief, and it's a heist film. It's very much like Marvel does a heist film. It's someone described it to me as Marvel does Ocean's 11. And while I wouldn't necessarily take it that far, it does have that kind of feel to it. It's fun. It's a fun, entertaining movie. If you go in expecting, the first Avengers film or the first Iron Man movie, you're going to be a little disappointed. Although I think it probably has more in common with the first Iron Man movie than it does any other Marvel film. It's a fun movie. And if you don't, if you go looking for flaws, you're going to find them. But if you go looking to have a good time at the movies, you're going to have a good time at the movies. So that's kind of my final verdict on Ant-Man. I give it a solid B+. It's a really good film.
I think that if it had been directed by Edgar Wright, I would have seen it probably opening weekend.
Mm-hmm. I would have been much more excited about it. But Peyton Reed did well. And I think what Peyton Reed had, and I think Edgar Wright had this as well, but Peyton Reed was an Ant-Man fan. And there aren't a lot of those around. But Peyton Reed was... I wouldn't
imagine.
Yeah, he actually was a fan of the Ant-Man comics. I read online in an interview that he was talking with a guy from Ain't It Cool News right after Edgar Wright left, and they're like, who's going to take over this movie? And like the next day they called him and asked him if he wanted to do it. And so right when he accepted, he called this guy from Ain't It Cool. He's like, you got to sit on this for a couple days, but I just accepted Ant-Man. And they're like, what? So, I mean, he was a big fan of the books. He was a big fan of the character. And so I think if Edgar Wright couldn't have done it, he would have been the right guy to have done it.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
That's what I'll say about it. It was fun. It was a really fun movie. I think Michael Pena should do more comedy rather than the dark and broody stuff that he tends to do, which he's good in, but gosh, he's so funny.
I just love Edgar Wright, and I love every movie he's ever made.
Yeah, and there are definitely some moments that you can tell are kind of Edgar Wright moments. You can tell that there are parts of the script that he definitely had a hand in putting in there and putting together.
Evangeline Lilly's in that?
Yeah.
That's sad.
She's not bad.
Is she? Soft.
In this movie, she's not bad.
Is that possible? I thought like I thought like if bad is like a fundamental part of what you are.
Yeah, but you like Jeff Goldblum, so
I don't see.
Hey,
I
go
don't
back
see.
to Goldblum. Hey, watch The Fly.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, Sam is right. It's the only
I already
good Jeff
have it.
Goldblum film.
I already have The Fly. It's already. It's here. Got it from Netflix.
Because Jurassic Park and Independence Day were good movies.
Okay, well, Independence Day.
Dude, Jeff Goldblum was so.
You guys like Jeff Goldblum movies?
I don't understand what the hate on Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park is. I think he was the best character.
No.
Who was a good character in Jurassic Park?
Sam freaking Neill, my friend.
Dude, did you see At the Mouth of Madness, Caleb?
Yeah.
It's always Sam Neill.
It's always and ever Sam Neill. Sam Neill was the best part of Jurassic Park 2. That's how good Sam Neill is. He's not even in Jurassic Park 2, and he's still the best part of the movie.
But was he really that great?
Yeah.
Yes.
But honestly, I watched the movie.
Did you, though?
I watched the movie last week, and I don't know.
No, you saw the movie, but did you watch the movie?
Did you?
Yeah. I did.
Because I don't think you did.
Watch the movie.
If you walk away from that movie thinking Jeff Goldblum's the best part of Jurassic Park, I don't think you watched. You and I did not watch.
He's great. Jeff is great. I don't know. I like Jeff. I like Jeff Goldblum. I think he's cool.
Okay, then watch The Fly.
Yeah, seriously.
I will. I am going to.
David Cronenberg's The Fly, starring Jeff Goldblum.
Which sucks. I really don't like David Cronenberg.
No, I don't either.
But this movie is good.
It is. It's the one good David Cronenberg film.
Yeah.
The one good David Cronenberg film, the one good Jeff Goldblum film.
You know who's another great actor that I really like? Bill Paxton. You know? Great actor. Really like him.
Now, I always get him confused with Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman's the guy in Casper. Bill Paxton's the guy that was been killed by a Terminator, a Predator, and an alien.
Yep, the only one.
One who's Lance Henriksen.
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen has now two.
Oh. Dang it.
Hang on, I'll go over this.
He was in the first Terminator.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Yep.
Well, the man who formerly held the distinction of being the only man to...
That was only in your mind, though.
He is the first one to be killed by all three.
Yes. And you know what we all know is that
Alien?
the only thing that matters is who gets there first.
Not necessarily.
It's true.
You're
It's
not
true.
first, you're last.
First to be killed by all three.
Huh?
Lance Henriksen had been killed before him.
No, because Lance Henriksen didn't get killed by a Predator to Alien vs. Predator. Whereas Bill Paxton got killed by a Predator in Predator 2.
Wasn't he technically killed in Aliens?
By an alien. And then they brought him back. Yeah.
But never mind, you're right. I was thinking of Predator, yeah. Bill Paxton was a Predator.
Doing my happy I'm right dance.
Hey, Predator 2 is a good movie. Screw you guys.
Well, I haven't
Screw
seen
you
it.
guys.
You're the guy who thinks that Predator 2 is a good movie. You're the one. Okay.
Danny Glover, way cooler than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
The main issue I've always heard, I haven't seen Predator 2, but the biggest problem most people have with it is that Danny Glover's too old for this shit.
You know, I do. I find it hard to believe that a guy who takes down that a beast who took down an entire squadron of Navy SEALs loses in hand-to-hand combat with Danny Glover.
Okay, it's a lot more believable than Adrian Brody.
Yes, I will give you that. And I'm not saying that's a good movie either.
No, that is a good movie. Just Adrian Brody was the only flaw with that movie because he's not. He is not.
Can we just agree that Adrian Brody is the Jeff Goldblum of his generation?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Has anyone seen the miniseries he did as Houdini?
They are.
I did not see it, but I saw previews for it, and it looked interesting.
Can you say that again, Matt?
Yeah, I was wondering if anyone had seen the miniseries he did portraying Houdini.
No.
Yeah.
It looks
I
good.
haven't had the pleasure of seeing it, but I saw previews too, and it looked really interesting.
Yeah, I actually did want to see that one, but I didn't get the chance because I don't have cable television, even though I work for a cable company.
Also, Adrian Brody was in Splice, and I can't say for a fact that I particularly liked him in the movie because I've only seen it once, but I do know that I liked Splice.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt. You and me against 7 billion people in the world. Because no one
Yeah.
else likes the movie except for me, and then Matt turns out that Matt liked it.
Oh, and Grace likes it because she's the one that made me watch it.
So, 3 against 7 billion people in the world.
Yeah, we're in this together, bud.
Okay, I feel like I've been like making fun of Jeff Goldblum and Adrian Brody just to fit in with Steven. I like both of them.
You would. Yeah. I don't
Ow!
I don't particularly care for either one, but
I think they're cool. I have a special. I think I have just a sentimental value for Jeff Goldblum
How? You haven't even watched The Fly.
from Independence Day. How he kills aliens with a Macintosh computer because, you know,
yeah, exactly.
it's fun. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, speaking of completely unbelievable things that happen in films, saving the world with a Mac, no
Wait,
way.
how'd they get the virus to? How'd they know how to make the virus? Jeff Goldblum is a master because he figured it out. Even though there's so much of there had to have been such a chasm of technological
you know that
incompatibility.
he was just playing a character in that movie. That wasn't actually Jeff Goldblum.
No, I'm gonna believe that
What?
he actually just figured that shit out. Like he saved the world.
Well, no,
Jeff
no, no.
Goldblum was our
No,
savior.
what happened was
you don't remember when aliens actually invaded America? That documentary?
no.
Yeah,
what
that
happened
was totally a biopic. It was
they were making the
That's the
film.
only biopic I like.
They were making the film, as they always do, with the script completely unfinished. And when they got to the end, they were like, how do we kill these aliens? We never got that far writing the script. And Jeff Goldblum, actually figured out the scientifically correct way to kill the aliens. And then
That and
suggested it to
him
them.
and Randy Quaid
So are you,
working
are
in
you telling me
tandem.
that?
so here's the thing: if you got aliens, you get Windows 98 and the viruses.
Can I just say that my favorite part of this podcast has been Matt's Jeff Goldblum impression?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
alone is the only reason people should listen to this particular episode.
I feel like I've done that impersonation too much.
Not for me, you
Not
haven't,
on the
Matt.
show. You only did the ha one time.
Ow!
It's the greatest laugh I've ever heard. I don't even know how it's possible.
Oh, it's so good.
Do I actually
I'm not
do that
even
laugh
sure.
well?
What?
Do I actually do that laugh? Like, be honest. Do I do that laugh well?
You do a pretty decent representation of it. I'm just saying the laugh itself. Every time you actually hear the real thing, it's like, how did that actually naturally come out of a person? Is
That's
that
what I was
possible?
wondering.
It doesn't feel
Like-
genuine or real or like
No,
laughter.
but it does though.
But
It
it
doesn't.
doesn't.
Like
It doesn't. You're
I've
like,
toned it down, but
like
the
you're-
thing is, when I actually really try to do it, the way I learned to do it is picture a real laugh, but you're hurt. So you're kind of saying "ow" at the same time. So when you laugh, like if I actually do it, ow, oh, oh,
You gotta-
ow, oh, oh, oh. Like it. You're like a cat or like a lion that's like
Oh, that's magical.
laughing but hurt.
you're like slowly stubbing your toe repeatedly while you're doing it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But honestly though, the laugh is not in any way, shape, or form natural. But when it comes out of Jeff Goldblum's body, it somehow it's genuine out of him. But you listen to it and you're like, I don't know how this could never be made by a person. But it genuinely flows from him as a real thing. And I'm like, what is Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. It seems oddly natural coming from him.
Yeah, well.
Like if you were at a party with Jeff
see.
Goldblum and you told a funny joke, is that the laugh you're gonna get from Jeff Goldblum?
I think so.
Has he? Okay,
Go ahead.
And I think it would go on for a couple minutes and be like, wow.
Yeah, but the problem is that your laugh that you're doing right there is more convincing.
Yeah. Well, I'm an actor. That's what I do.
No, I'm just saying yours is more
Ow.
convincing as a laugh. Jeff Goldblum's is I don't even know. I'm not even sure what it is. Is Jeff Goldblum? Has he ever been on film anywhere else laughing? Or is that the only time?
I'm sure he has at some point in his career. I'm not such an avid fan of his career.
Dude, did you see The Fly?
On Just for Jeff month?
I think we've established that he's not seen The Fly.
That's all I have to contribute to this conversation.
On Just for Jeff month, I'm gonna find where he laughed again, and we're gonna cross reference his laughter
Might
from
skip
other
his
movies.
best movie.
What?
I would be really pissed off if you guys skipped his best movie.
We're not going to. What is wrong with you, Sam?
Go track down The Fly on the Criterion edition. See if you can find it on the Electronic Bay.
There's a
Is there already? There's a Criterion.
I'm pretty sure there
collection?
is.
That makes sense. It's
I mean, it's
A movie
Cronenberg.
that,
So.
when did that come out?
The Criterion version, like probably
No. When did the actual movie come out?
Oh, the 70s,
80s,
80s, 70s, 80s.
like late 80s.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
because
I think it was
Jeff
86.
sure?
Goldblum. I don't know.
Are you sure?
70 seems a little bit early for Goldblum to have been.
Yeah, dude, Death Wish.
Movieing.
He was like 20 years old in Death Wish.
When was
Yeah.
Death Wish?
That came out like 79.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Forget I said words.
Well, the cool thing about The Fly, keep in mind that the actress that plays the opposite of him, he is actually married to in real life at that point in time. So their chemistry is phenomenal.
Which
I
you can't
see.
always say about married couples on screen, because,
No.
Geely.
Well, they weren't married,
Nope,
were
it's
they?
probably in the
They were just
podcast.
dating, weren't they? And didn't they break up while that movie was being made?
No. They broke up after their next movie came out. So they were in Geely, and then they did Jersey Girl, and after Jersey Girl got released, then they broke up. And then she went and slept with Mark Antony, and then he went and slept with Jennifer Garner, and now none of them are sleeping with those people anymore.
They all got STDs.
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Strange place.
Yep.
Huh.
Sad place.
All right, well, that's all I got.
Place where people go to die.
Well, wasn't there another topic? Sam, didn't you tell me there was a topic that you wanted to talk about, like, last week, and then something specific?
No, I feel like
Are
I'm
you checking the text messages?
I'm checking.
He is in fact checking the text messages.
I mean, there might be, but it's getting a little late here, guys.
Yeah, I do have to
Alright,
work in the morning.
Okay, well, yeah, so do I.
We
And
can
probably
talk-
everybody here except for Matt.
Maybe we can talk about some.
But maybe someday Matt will work in the morning
Well, yeah, he's working a
at
sex
a
shop.
sex shop.
I gotta get up early in the morning and harvest dildos in the farm and then sell them.
Work that rudimentary lathe they have in the back.
Yeah. I gotta till the fields, if you know what I mean.
Hi-yo.
All right, well, in that case, thank you everyone for listening to the White Trash Voltaire podcast. We're going. Oh yeah, hey, we need to tell where we find people. Hey, where do you find people? If I needed to find a person, where would I go?
Google.
You could find me at a sex shop.
So
Just walk in any sex shop. Don't worry, you'll find me.
Say his name 3
You'll know where to
times,
look.
and he'll appear like Beetlejuice.
well, I'll tell you what. You can find the White Trash Voltaire, the grouping that is us, the White Trash Voltaire, at facebook.com. Slash what? What is it? Facebook?
White Trash Voltaire?
Let me
I
go
don't
there.
know.
Let me go there real quick. I don't even remember. It's been a long time since we've actually recorded one.
Been a long time since you
Facebook.com
rock and rolled.
/ White Trash Voltaire. And then if you want to find me on Twitter, you need to go at Arthurmus, because I have gone from being at Arthurmus to at Caleb Dunkerson, back to at Arthurmus. Because
That's too confusing.
well, it's because I decided to start uploading to my YouTube account again, which is Arthurmus, and I figured I should probably make my Twitter consistent with that. So
That's
again,
probably a good move.
you can also go to my YouTube account, which is youtube.com. I don't know, probably / a million. Yeah, yep. It's youtube.com /UCEGLAJM YIKRTNPFDWX4E2VA. Type that in. You'll get there. It's great. I do videos about stuff like I talk about Windows 10 right now. Sometimes I talk about cameras and the way that they work, how you can
Sounds
use
like the
them to
most
do stuff.
boring thing on the internet.
It depends on what your interests are. If your interests align with the kind of videos I make, then you'll enjoy it. If your interests don't align with the kind of videos I make, it'll probably be the most boring thing on the internet.
All right, cool.
But that's just kind of generally how things work in general. Things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, shit, man. You either like it or you don't.
Hey, Matt, where can we find you on the internet besides the sex shop? Because that's real life, not the internet.
You can find me at Matthew Vehemity on Twitter, Matthew Vehemity on Facebook. You can also now find me at Matthew Vehemity on YouTube, where I am currently uploading a series of terrible electronic music shorts.
Oh, man, I totally dug your transistor circuit explosion.
Whoa,
Did you dig that?
This.
What?
Don't ruin it for me. Don't ruin it for me. I haven't listened to it yet.
I'm gonna spoiler alert.
No,
It's
here's.
spoiler alert. It's electronic music.
Ah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty much just how you imagine electronic music to sound.
It sounds exactly like the picture that he's using for the video.
I haven't seen it.
Look, okay.
I mean,
look at the picture, and it sounds like that.
yeah, I mean, the music. I wasn't. Let's face this. I wasn't trying to be ambitious. My laptop can only do so much anyways, but I do enjoy making that type of music. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to intentionally make it cheesy.
I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's just fun. That's all it is. Like, I'm not trying to make, like, groundbreaking music right now. Maybe, soon I will. But it's just fun stuff for me to do in my free time.
No one's asking you to break new ground in music right now.
I am.
And that's okay. Because you get to do what you want.
Matt.
But
now, someday I
may have
expect you
plans.
to break new ground, okay? That's you need to know that someday I expect you to break new ground in music. But right now, I'm not asking you to do that.
I am.
Steven is, I'm not.
Steven puts a lot of
Steven is going to be my motivation. I just want to impress him.
This is why I was a great teacher, because I knew how to motivate my students to succeed.
Step 1, make them look up to me. Step 2, tell them I am disappointed.
That's pretty much all you need to do, and they tend to fall in line pretty easily.
So, Sam, where can we find you on the social media?
I'm right here in my chair.
Cool.
I've been.
That's how social Sam is.
This live webcam thing lately. Make a little bit of extra cash on the side. You can catch me there sometimes.
Okay. What's the web address for that?
It is. You know what? Don't worry about it. You can find me on Instagram.
Wait a second. Sam, do you need to come to a certain shop that I'm going to be working at?
That'd be great. Get some new content there.
Go to
new webcam accessories.
Brush up on your Frankenfurter costume.
Yeah.
Go to
www.sensualsamuel.gov.
I didn't know Sam was a part of the SS.
He got this government tie-in deal for his webcams.
It's for the troops, guys. It's always for the troops.
I actually want you to go to sensualsamuel.gov and see what you find.
Type into check into White Trash Voltaire on Facebook and tell us what you find.
Please, because we're not going to go there.
How do you get that domain name? I want that now.
I don't think you can just get .govs.
Yeah, you can't just get a .gov.
Okay, so step 1, get into politics.
Yes.
There you go.
It's like
Step 2, fix politics.
25 years from now, when Sam is the president of the United States, somebody's going to ask him in an interview, so, Sam, what was your motivation for getting into politics?
Honestly, that'll probably be the first time anyone listens to these podcasts to get dirt on Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam's running for president. And it's like,
holy crap. Sam, you're going to make us famous, but you might have to sacrifice some things.
Well,
half of us will be dead by the
Google
time
and this podcast will pop up.
we'll all be like half of us will be dead for no reason.
I'll have had at least 3 heart attacks by then. So
That'll be coached out of his mind.
No way, Matt will probably be.
Some cabin.
What?
Damn, I'm going to be the only success story here.
probably.
Yeah.
That's sad. Like, terrifying, too.
We're counting on you to use your political power to take care of us
Make
with
us
welfare.
skyrocket.
Could you introduce a bill into the Senate, Mr. President?
Yeah, I don't think you know what the president does, Caleb.
Could you introduce a bill that gives welfare just to us?
Yeah.
No, I really don't think you know what it means to be president at all.
Divert all welfare, too. The justice.
Okay, fine. If it doesn't work in Senate, then just executive order.
Now,
Just
see,
issue an
that,
EO.
Yeah, that'll work.
presidential.
Yeah. Issue a decree.
Oh, I'd have someone go throughout the land at the cry.
Like
too.
Caesar Augustus.
Cry it throughout the land.
So, Sam, where can we
Sam will
find
bring
you on
back
social
the town
media?
crier.
Instagram and Twitter, you can find me there. Instagram, I am your pallbearer.
That
I am-
actually is the whole name. I
Yeah.
am your
And your
pallbearer. It's not on Instagram. I am your pallbearer.
It's
No,
I am pallbearer.
Yeah. I know, I always go to that, like, say, I'm this, but then I realize, no, wait, that's also my thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am your pallbearer.
The I am is part of it.
I am your pallbearer.
also, Sam is actually your pallbearer.
Yes.
That's true, actually.
So when
You're
you
only
die,
pallbearer, so good luck getting
Please.
in your grave.
From the sake of my back, leave a little bit of weight before you die.
Not gonna happen. Sorry.
Might not be your pallbearer.
For those of you listening at home, I'm really fat.
He's not that big. I've seen bigger.
I'm almost 400 pounds.
I
so-
doubt that.
I know. You got a scale?
And you hide it well.
Thank you.
I would not pay you for that.
Yeah, no, I'm
what other
really
things
heavy
do you
gentleman.
hide?
Anyway, yeah, Instagram you'll find me. Twitter, I'm there sometimes. I don't know what I'm calling Twitter. You'll have to ask Matt that.
Matt, what's it called?
Eskima 138.
Yes, that's it.
Facebook, you can Facebook friend me. I don't have a whole lot of Facebook friends, and I could use them some more. So Facebook friend me, so I feel special about myself. And if you follow me on Instagram, pretty soon you're going to see a new project me and Matt are working on that Matt doesn't know a whole lot about yet, and we're going to start posting pictures from it.
Yeah, Sam keeps texting me, telling me bits about this project, but he's not telling me a whole lot. And let's face it, I've been really busy, and so I'm not even really reading the text too much. So I know even less than he's trying to inform me.
I think I know
Matt-
more about it than you do.
Matt, try to convince him to put a part in there for me because I need
Well-
good roles.
Yes, and this is going to be Sam's first non-horror movie. And it's a solid movie.
Sam, if you don't put Steven in it, I'm not going to be in it.
Well, I don't... Okay, I'll get a
If you
different
don't
actor.
put Steven in it, it probably would be a bad move because
Probably,
Steven's the only
but-
talent you know.
Unless
Face
he
it,
can play...
Steven's better than I am, so really, it should be the other way around. Steven should be begging for me to get the part.
Like, unless Steven can somehow play an 18 to 21-year-old female who is athletic and able to do action movie stuff.
Steven is an
I've
actor.
seen Asian movies where people do that.
I also have no hair on my head and a rather long red beard. So,
Steven,
that
have you
going.
ever done stage acting where you played a female?
yes, I have.
Then he's already got built-in experience. We know he can do it.
It's built in.
Here, I have intentions with this movie.
He wants it to be quote unquote
Oh, so you're racist.
Sam has aspirations, and Steven and I are trying to shit all over it.
Yes.
good. This is what the talent does, Matt. This is what we do.
Sam is no longer shooting himself in the foot, so someone else has to step in and do it. And that's just what
I mean,
Steven and I are trying to do.
Oddly enough, almost all the roles are filled.
Then write another one for me.
I don't know.
So wait, do we have a female?
That's the one role. I'm going to have to find one soon.
Okay.
If by ninja, I mean, are you talking like the Chris Farley Beverly Hills ninja kind of ninja?
I'll make it work.
Because that's about the only ninja I could be.
We'll fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
That's what they do for the freaking magazines, right?
Yeah, everything, man.
We'll make this guy look like a different person.
Yeah, we'll completely airbrush him into non-existence.
And then put someone else there.
Speaking of roles, have you talked to your brother recently, Sam?
What about my brother?
He literally the day after we came in for me to do my lines, he messaged me and was just overjoyed, apparently.
Yeah, he's like that. Oh yeah, in case you guys also didn't know, me and Matt are part of another project, a Halloween radio spooky show that'll be playing this Halloween on the radio, and we'll get more details as we get closer. We probably shouldn't talk too much about it now, Matt.
We can cut all this out.
yeah.
We'll get this in post.
Well, no, there are photographs that are on the public Facebook domain showing that
Fine.
this is happening.
You can find
so
my brother
it's not like a
at
secret.
whatever his stuff is.
At whatever his stuff is.
JP,
Just find JP Leck.
Yeah, the author.
He's on
film-
YouTube. He's also on Facebook.
You know, don't go to his YouTube because he took freaking all the Goners movies off there.
Yeah,
that
that is. Why did you do that? Because I wanted to watch those again one
He
time and they were
wants to-
gone.
I know he wants to harvest ideas from them, and then he doesn't think people will take him serious. I'm like, whatever.
But if you
It's
don't
kinda
actually,
awkward.
how do you
different-
release?
yeah, You can go, Caleb.
How do you release content? You can't retract content you've already released. That's not fair. Like I get you want to harvest ideas that maybe you didn't ever release, but once you've released it, that art is in the world. That belongs to the world.
Dude, George
It's not-
Lucas does it all the time.
That does not help the case for Joseph at all.
The other thing is, it's really difficult to explain to the cable man why he'll never get to see the Goners movie.
See, I thought you guys were saying Donners, and I thought you guys had made a live-action adaptation of the Donner Party.
No.
And I was kind of really excited about
Do you
that.
ever see like my living room?
Have I seen your living room?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen your living room.
Okay, so that kind of like all the decorations and posters and everything in there are from that movie.
Oh, okay.
That it cannot be seen because he took them down.
Well,
Yeah, I've got a couple
can't do
movies
that.
like that too that I've made that are nowhere visible wherever. In fact, I think every movie I've ever made is no longer on the internet.
hey,
That is unfair. The art, the art has to live on. You know what I have on my YouTube channel? Even though I've kind of like started doing completely different content, the Statement of Randolph Carter's original upload is still on there.
And
I
it's
can't
You
take it
still
down.
have-
I can't take it
You
down.
still have that throwaway footage that Sam and I did where you just like edited in a Vortigon.
I think that's
Yeah, I
Saw.
still have that. It's not.
That's
it's no
fantastic.
longer. That is no longer a public video. That's a private video. But the
Caleb, you have to keep the art out there.
well,
Yeah,
that's not,
Caleb.
that wasn't
people
really
have to see
art.
that.
You know what? That might actually have been the most artistic thing I've ever done.
That was
Put it out
fantastic.
there.
I'm still beyond
Give the
impressed.
people
with
what
that.
they want, Caleb.
All right, maybe I'll consider re-releasing it. I didn't delete it. I just made it. I didn't delete it because it has to be archived for future generations. But I just took it off being public. It's actually just unlisted status. So if you have the link, you can watch it.
Hey, Caleb, where can we find you?
He
We
already
already
said
did
that.
that.
I wasn't paying attention. Hey, Steven, where can we find you?
I'm on the internet. You know, I'm around. Twitter at Chewy Walrus. Instagram Chewy Walrus, but I'm private, so if I don't know you, I probably won't accept you. So just Twitter at Chewy Walrus.
He's private there, but he's actually going to be guest starring on centralsam.gov.
Yeah,
Keep an eye out for that.
I don't like to talk about that. I was kind of trying to keep that under wraps. Thanks.
This is like a surprise. Like, whoa, is that Steven from the White Trash Voltaire show? That's insane.
I never imagined that sensual voice would match that body.
No one ever does. No one ever does.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? This has been a fun episode. I know it's probably completely aimless for listeners, but we had fun. So
Yeah.
This is the
that's all that
Seinfeld
really
of
matters,
episodes.
right?
3 out of 4 of us had fun.
So with that, thank you for watching The White Trash Voltaire. Please tune in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching with your ears.
Thank you for reading the White Trash Voltaire show.
Thank you for
Thank you
spelling.
for colors in your pockets that I can't see, but you listen to them.
Thank you for touching The White Trash Voltaire. Tune in week after next to touch The White Trash Voltaire again. Bye, everybody.
Please listen to my laugh. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Okay, now
Ow!
see, now I feel like it's played out now.